In my opinion, PvPvE horror extraction games are going to blow up over time and become one of the most prominent subcategories within the horror genre. Currently, we have Hunt Showdown dominating the space, but that's where the Bornless enters the chat. The amount of updates and improvements that they've made over time across their playtests have been incredible, and they have showed us some early access footage of what they have been working on since their last playtest that we're going to dive into in this video. One of the biggest features being worked on currently is the building system. This will basically add a Sims-like experience to the Bornless. Pause. I know I just said The Sims in a horror extraction game, but let me explain. Basically, as you spend time in Farmouth Island and collect resources and bring them back to your island after extracting from a game, you'll be able to now utilize those resources to build a house or build whatever building that you wish on your island to offer a more customized experience. I think this is a great feature to be working on because it offers charm and character and customization in a way that other extraction games, to my knowledge, currently don't offer, especially in the horror extraction gaming space. People play video games for all types of reasons. Sometimes it's to escape the world, escape work, be able to play with friends, or take it seriously and focus on KD or how well did I do last game and have a more professional approach to gaming. Some people love just being able to have these different features and elements to where they can just kind of relax, fool around, have a good time, or to get creative. And I think that this is a great feature from a business perspective because when you have different features like this, it just makes it more likely that people are going to spend more time on your game. And that's never a bad thing for gaming companies. So I think this is a really smart thing to implement into the Bornless, and it also gives more meaning to the resources that you acquire. Instead of just selling them outright, being able to take them to your island and build all sorts of different buildings or put a billboard on your island for the trucks is an unexpected and unique feature that I think a lot of people are going to dabble with and at least utilize to some level. Something that I particularly love about the way that they're approaching this customization in this building mode is that they're making it so it's a free customization. As you can see here, chairs can literally be placed in the air. It's not that type of customization system where, hey, I have a chair, I can only place it at this angle or in these 4 different spaces. And that goes for all of the items. I also think in the future, having things like possible Halloween updates or adding jack-o'-lanterns or having winter holiday events, I just think of a lot of different holidays or different events that they could put on to offer us unique customization items to have featured on our island, or even coming up with things that we can purchase or acquire through different missions and challenges to show off and say, hey, I'm that bitch, been that bitch, still that bitch. Just also could appeal to the competitive players that I mentioned before, or people that strive to be a completionist. There's so many different ways that you can approach this, and I love that they're adding this to the game. Now, another thing that the Bornless has been cooking up is some updates to their gunplay. In particular, they are making improvements to the weight feel of different weapons. Obviously, the sniper rifle that's showcased here will feel a lot heavier than like a pistol, but then they also have done it for their melee weapons as well. And they've made it so that when you're ADSing and turning, there's some weapon sway. Particularly with the sniper rifle, it's more noticeable rather than like the pistol. When you're sprinting with a weapon, there'll be a little bit of lean to it. So that just makes it feel more realistic. But the thing that I'm most excited about when it comes to fights in particular is the updates that they've made to the melee system. I'll be honest, when I've played the playtest in the past, I didn't really know sometimes if I was even hitting somebody. I was like, hello? Did you take a hit or did you just eat that? Like, girl. And now they have added blood spots on your screen when you get hits with a melee weapon, but also there'll be blood spots on the ground around the person that you're hitting. They also got rid of their hold to charge feature with the melee weapons. And in addition to just light attacks that you can use when hitting somebody with a melee weapon, each weapon will also have a special attack that you can activate using right click. I'm super excited about this. I think melee usage was definitely a weak point within the Bornless from my experience so far, but I think these updates are really going to elevate that part of the game and make it more enticing and feel like a more viable option when in a fight. Now, the scream that I scrumpted when I saw this footage for the first time, the fact that they are adding motorbikes into the Bornless made me so excited. Currently in the game, we've only had trucks, but to be able to utilize motorbikes is just super cool. And it has me thinking, what else could they possibly add in the future? I could get crazy with it. There's part of me that's like, oh my God, like an ATV or a quad would be really cool. But the reason why I'm not a developer for a game company is I would want to run bitches over with a backhoe. What's super cool about the motorcycle, other than the fact that it's a freaking motorcycle, is the fact that you can dim the headlights, so it's less likely that people will see you. Now, unfortunately for me, because I drive like everything is GTA, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference for me, but I appreciate the attention to detail. And I think those little things that get focused on and ironed out and implemented into the game is something that's going to allow for the Bornless to stand out once it enters full access. Now, another feature being worked on for improvement is the spell crafting feature. Now, there won't be a spell that wipes out my student debt, unfortunately, but the Bornless has done a pretty good job at piquing my interest with this feature. Similar to the building feature, you will be able to collect different resources like potions, herbs, and even eyeballs to bring back to your safe house after extracting, to then cook up some recipes that you can bring into your next game that offer a variety of benefits. Some of the recipes will be spelled out for you. However, they are offering creative freedom with this feature as well, because they encourage you to combine different ingredients to see if it triggers a spell that you'll be able to utilize, because not all recipes are going to be necessarily spelled out for you. That was lame. The spelled out for, yeah. But anyway, another feature that offers a different approach to the game and adds a layer to the gameplay. I think this is going to be great. Another new feature for the Bornless is the concept of tarot cards. There are currently 10 cards in the Bornless tarot deck, but they hope to expand it more in the future to utilize in game, but also hinting at potentially being able to utilize it outside of game in the future. Maybe merch. That would be actually really cool. They also mentioned that each of the cards tells its own story about the character depicted on each particular card while referencing the Bornless lore. I think this is a way for them to step it up in the lore department, but I'm curious to see if there'll be any other effects or anything more to the tarot cards in general. Another area where the Bornless has decided to make some improvements came in with their house designs. They have decided to up the creepy Lovecraftian vibes while also opening up some of the houses to allow demons to now enter them and have fights with players hiding inside, which I'm sure is going to offer a frightening experience when you are not in demon form and you have a demon just lurking around outside ready to enter that house that you're hoping and praying they don't enter in. I'm not looking forward to that part, to be on the receiving end, but when I'm a demon and it's time to have some lunch, I'm looking forward to that. Another area that the team has been focusing on came into play with the radio towers, which is a central map location. They're really trying to up things with the creepy, eerie aesthetic and vibes, which just from this footage alone, I think they've done a great job with, while also at the same time trying to create an environment where demons and humans can interact and have fair fights without it being limiting to demons based on available space, especially for some of the bigger demons. Nowhere is safe, and I think that that's going to really create a more intense environment and intense gameplay when playing the Bornless. But I think they're doing a great job with creating environments that make sense for the universe that they're building. Something I'm really proud of the team working on is just offering so many layers to their game through these different features, and they have done it yet again with this whole new area called the Swamp of Zaboslav. And basically it's an optional side quest area, which once you complete the quest, you get an exclusive reward that you can only get through completing this quest. And you also get a bit of lore around the mascot of the Bornless, which is super cool. Again, this is just another really unique concept that adds layers to the game. It offers different experiences to the player base, and when done well, it's never a bad thing. And I think that the Bornless is going to thrive over time, especially once they get into full access in the future, because they're putting effort into offering so many different layers to their player base and listening to the community, and also really prioritizing the small things along with obviously the big things that make a game really important. But I think the small details can get lost in the shuffle, and they're making sure to hold that to the right level of priority. I'm excited to explore this whole area. What do you guys think of it? They also updated their UI. So here we can see what the building mode would look like, which looks very clean right now as it stands. But they also highlighted before and afters. For instance, what it looked like when you went to Hog to trade. This was before. And now here's what it looks like. It just looks more organized, more clean. Then here's the before when it came to buying from Hog. And here is the after, much more clean, again, much more organized. They also updated the rarity system here, so it's much more easily understandable for a player. And they updated the matchmaking. This is the before you load it into a game, and now this is what it will look like in the future. I'm so excited for these upcoming updates. I cannot wait for a next playtest. I will be sure to stream the next playtest, so make sure you're following me everywhere, whether it's here on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. All my info is in the description. I stream on all three. And make sure you wishlist the Bornless. If you haven't wishlisted the Bornless yet, what are you doing? Hello? That will also be in the description as well. Don't worry, I got you. But what do you think of all these updates coming to the game? And if you've played the game, what do you think of the Bornless? Are you excited for what's coming to the game? And what would you like to see implemented that maybe they haven't talked about yet? Thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you at the next one.